Emily stared at her reflection in the sleek glass doors of StratTech Solutions. The building loomed tall and imposing, a fortress of glass and steel that seemed to challenge her resolve. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her ambitions pressing down on her shoulders. This was the moment she had been working towards for years, the culmination of countless late nights and early mornings, of sacrifices and hard-won victories. Her reflection stared back, a young woman with fiery red hair and determined green eyes. Those eyes had seen so much, from the struggles of her childhood to the triumphs of her academic career. They were the eyes of someone who had never given up, no matter how tough the road had been. Emily's mind wandered back to the countless hours spent studying, the internships that had tested her patience, and the mentors who had guided her along the way. She clutched her coffee mug, a wave of anxiety washing over her. The familiar warmth of the mug was a small comfort, a reminder of the routines that had kept her grounded. She could almost hear her mother's voice, offering words of encouragement and wisdom. "You can do this, Emily. You've always been stronger than you think." The words echoed in her mind, a mantra she had repeated to herself countless times. Today was her first day as assistant manager. It was a title that carried with it a sense of pride and responsibility, a recognition of her hard work and dedication. But it was also a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead, the expectations she would have to meet, and the obstacles she would have to overcome. Emily knew that this was just the beginning, the first step on a long and arduous journey. "It's just a stepping stone," she muttered to herself, repeating the words her mother often used. Her mother had always been her biggest supporter, the one who had believed in her when no one else did. Emily could still remember the nights they had spent talking about her dreams, the plans they had made together. "One step at a time," her mother would say. "You'll get there, Emily. I know you will." The corporate ladder stretched before her, a daunting climb to the top. Each rung represented a new challenge, a new opportunity to prove herself. Emily knew that the path would not be easy, that there would be setbacks and failures along the way, but she was ready to face them, to learn from them, and to keep moving forward. She had come too far to turn back now. Emily was determined to reach the summit, no matter the cost. She had a vision of what she wanted, a clear picture of the future she was working towards. It was a future where she was in control, where she could make a difference, where her voice would be heard. She knew that it would take time, that there would be sacrifices along the way, but she was willing to make them, to do whatever it took to achieve her goals. She envisioned a corner office, a team of her own, and the power to make decisions. It was a dream that had driven her for as long as she could remember, a dream that had given her the strength to keep going when things got tough. Emily could see it now, the office with its floor-to-ceiling windows, the team of talented professionals working together to achieve great things. It was a vision that filled her with hope and determination. Emily took a deep breath and pushed open the glass doors. The cool air of the lobby washed over her, a welcome relief from the heat of the morning sun. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, a mix of excitement and nerves. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for. She stepped inside, her heels clicking on the polished marble floor, and made her way to the elevator. The air buzzed with the energy of ambition. Everywhere she looked, she saw people moving with purpose, their faces set with determination. It was a world that she had always wanted to be a part of, a world where hard work and talent were rewarded. Emily felt a surge of excitement, a sense of belonging. This was where she was meant to be. She could feel it thrumming around her, a silent symphony of competition. The air was thick with the unspoken challenge, the drive to be the best. Emily knew that she would have to prove herself, to show that she belonged here. But she was ready for it, ready to take on whatever came her way. She had the skills, the knowledge, and the determination to succeed. Emily squared her shoulders and stepped into the arena. She could feel the eyes of her new colleagues on her, assessing her, judging her, but she didn't let it faze her. She had faced tougher challenges before, and she had always come out on top. This was just another test, another opportunity to prove herself. She was ready to show them what she was made of. She was ready to play the game. The corporate world was a battlefield, and Emily was a warrior. She had the skills, the determination, and the drive to succeed. She knew that it wouldn't be easy, that there would be obstacles and setbacks along the way. But she was ready for the challenge, ready to fight for her dreams. With a final deep breath, she stepped forward, ready to take on whatever came her way. Simon, Emily's new manager, was a man who seemed carved from ice and ambition. His presence in the office was like a cold wind, sharp and unyielding. Every move he made was calculated. Every word he spoke was measured. He was not just a manager, he was a force of nature, a relentless drive towards perfection. He had a sharp mind, a sharper tongue, and an uncanny knack for getting what he wanted. His reputation preceded him, a man who could turn the most chaotic situation into a well-orchestrated symphony of productivity. His colleagues often marveled at his ability to dissect problems and devise solutions with surgical precision. His eyes, like chips of blue ice, missed nothing. They were always scanning, always analyzing, always a step ahead. It was as if he could see through the very fabric of the office, understanding its inner workings better than anyone else. Those eyes could inspire both fear and respect in equal measure. He was a master strategist, always thinking 3 steps ahead. In meetings, he would often lay out plans that seemed almost prophetic in their accuracy. His strategies were not just about winning, they were about dominating, about ensuring that every possible outcome was accounted for and controlled. Simon ran his team like a well-oiled machine, each member a cog in his intricate plan. He knew the strengths and weaknesses of each team member and positioned them in roles where they could excel. His leadership style was demanding, but it brought out the best in those who could keep up with his pace. He believed in efficiency, results, and the relentless pursuit of success. To him, there was no room for error, no tolerance for anything less than excellence. He would spend hours poring over data, analyzing every detail to ensure that nothing was left to chance. He had no time for mediocrity or excuses. Those who could not meet his high standards were quickly shown the door. His impatience with underperformance was well known, and it kept everyone on their toes, striving to meet his exacting expectations. Under his leadership, the team consistently exceeded expectations, a testament to his ruthless efficiency. Success was not just a goal, it was a requirement. Celebrations were frequent, but they were always tempered with the knowledge that the next challenge was just around the corner. Emily found herself both intimidated and intrigued by Simon. His methods were harsh, but undeniably effective. She watched him closely, trying to understand the man behind the icy exterior. There was a complexity to him that she found fascinating, a depth that hinted at more than just ambition. She observed him closely, absorbing his every word and action. She took meticulous notes during meetings, replaying his strategies in her mind, trying to decode the secrets of his success. She knew that understanding Simon was key to her own advancement. She knew that he held the key to her success at StratTech. His approval could open doors that were otherwise closed. His mentorship could shape her career in ways she had only dreamed of. But earning his respect was no small feat. It required dedication, intelligence, and a willingness to push beyond her limits. To climb the corporate ladder, she needed to understand his game. She needed to think like him, to anticipate his moves, to become a strategist in her own right. It was a daunting task, but Emily was determined. She would learn from the chess master, and in doing so, she would carve out her own path to success. "Influence, Emily, is the currency of this company," Simon stated one afternoon, his voice devoid of inflection. They were alone in his office, the city sprawled beneath them like a concrete jungle. "Learn to wield it and you'll go far." Emily listened intently, her green eyes focused on her mentor. He continued explaining how power wasn't always about authority, but about the subtle art of persuasion. He spoke of building alliances, understanding motivations, and using information strategically. "And never underestimate the power of perception, Emily," Simon advised, his gaze piercing. "Control the narrative and you control the game." His words resonated deeply with Emily. She realized that corporate success wasn't just about hard work. It was about playing the game smarter. Section 4. The Art of Observation. Emily took Simon's words to heart. She became a student of the office ecosystem, observing the intricate dance of power and influence. She paid attention to the unspoken dynamics, the subtle shifts in alliances, and the whispers of discontent. She learned to decipher the hidden meanings behind casual conversations and decipher the power dynamics in meetings. Emily watched how information flowed, who controlled it, and how it was used to influence decisions. She saw how alliances were forged and broken, often in the most unexpected ways. Emily began to see the office as a chessboard, each employee a piece with its own strengths and weaknesses. She understood that to succeed, she needed to anticipate her opponent's moves, leverage her strengths, and exploit their vulnerabilities. She was no longer just a pawn in someone else's game. Section 5. A Pawn's Gambit. Emily started applying her newfound knowledge. She had spent countless hours studying the intricacies of corporate strategy, understanding the subtle dynamics that governed the office environment. Every piece of information she gathered was like a puzzle piece, fitting into the larger picture of her career ambitions. She knew that to succeed, she had to be more than just competent, she had to be strategic. She volunteered for projects that gave her visibility and influence. These were not just any projects, but those that were high profile and had the potential to impact the company's direction. Emily understood that visibility was key. The more people saw her in action, the more they would recognize her capabilities. She took on challenges that others shied away from, proving her mettle time and again. She built relationships with key players across different departments, expanding her network of allies. Emily knew that success in the corporate world was not just about individual performance, but also about who you knew. She attended networking events, engaged in casual hallway conversations, and made it a point to understand the goals and challenges of her colleagues. This network of allies would prove invaluable as she navigated the complex corporate landscape. She made herself indispensable, her insights and contributions becoming invaluable to the team. Emily's approach was always to add value, whether it was through innovative ideas, efficient processes, or simply being a reliable team member. Her colleagues began to rely on her for her sharp insights and her ability to get things done. She became the go-to person for solving complex problems, and her reputation for excellence grew. She used her knowledge strategically, subtly influencing decisions and shaping outcomes to her advantage. Emily was not just a participant in meetings, she was a shaper of discussions. She knew when to speak up and when to listen, when to push an idea and when to let others take the lead. Her strategic acumen allowed her to steer conversations in a direction that aligned with her goals, often without others even realizing it. Emily never made a move without considering the potential consequences, always staying a few steps ahead of her rivals. She was meticulous in her planning, always weighing the pros and cons of every decision. Her ability to anticipate the moves of others gave her a significant advantage, allowing her to navigate the corporate chessboard with precision. She was always prepared, always ready for the next challenge. She played the game subtly, her ambition masked by a veneer of quiet competence. Emily understood the importance of perception. She knew that overt ambition could be off-putting, so she let her actions speak for her. Her quiet competence earned her the respect of her peers and the trust of her superiors. She was ambitious, yes, but she was also patient, willing to wait for the right opportunities to present themselves. Emily's star began to rise within StratTech. Her hard work and strategic approach were paying off. She started receiving recognition for her contributions, not just from her immediate team, but from higher-ups as well. Her name began to be mentioned in important meetings, and she was increasingly seen as a key player in the company's future. Her colleagues viewed her as a rising star, her talent and dedication undeniable. They admired her work ethic, her ability to deliver results, and her knack for making the right decisions. Emily had become a role model for many, a testament to what could be achieved with hard work and strategic thinking. Her journey was inspiring, and her colleagues were eager to see what she would accomplish next. Simon, too, recognized her growing influence, a flicker of approval in his usually impassive eyes. Simon had been a mentor to Emily, guiding her through the complexities of the corporate world. He had seen her potential from the beginning, and now he was witnessing her transformation. His approval was subtle, but it was there, a silent acknowledgement of her achievements and her growing influence within the company. Emily had learned his lessons well. She had taken his advice to heart, applying it in ways that had propelled her career forward. She reflected on her journey, recognizing how far she had come and how much she had grown. The lessons she had learned were not just about business, but about life, about resilience, strategy, and the importance of building strong relationships. She was no longer just a pawn in his game, she was a player in her own right. Emily had evolved from a novice to a strategist, from a follower to a leader. She was now a force to be reckoned with, a player who understood the game and knew how to win. Her journey was far from over, but she was ready for whatever came next, confident in her abilities and her place within StratTech.